sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so you sent me a ton of stuff about this USA-Canada game from the Four Nations face-off.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like you really want to get the full story on this one.
Absolutely.
A crazy overtime finish, a goalie that no one really had faith in going into it.
Right.
And we may even get a little preview of what's to come at the Olympics in 26.
It was an amazing game.
So this was their second matchup in the tournament. They played in Montreal earlier, and the U.S. actually took that one.
Yep.
So you can imagine how intense the energy was for the final game down in Boston.
Oh, electric atmosphere in TD Garden.
Must have been. Plus, you had all the injury drama with both teams.
Yeah, it was rough for both sides.
For the U.S., Charlie McAvoy, a huge part of their defense, he was out with a shoulder injury and then had that nasty infection.
Right, they really had to dig deep on D without him.
Which meant Jake Sanderson got thrown into the fire even though he wasn't even supposed to be playing.
Trial by fire, for sure.
And then for Canada, no Josh Morrissey because he was sick.
Yeah, Thomas Harley had to step up in his place.
Must have been a lot of pressure for those two young guys.
For sure.
Oh, and I almost forgot. Austin Matthews and both Kidachuk brothers were playing hurt for the U.S.
Wow.
Talk about dedication.
Absolutely.
But even with all those injuries, I got to wonder what everyone was thinking when they saw who the goalies were going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Hellebuyck for the U.S. The guy's probably going to win the Vizina this year.
Yeah.
And then you've got Binnington for Canada, who, well, he hasn't been having the best season.
Yeah, it was a pretty stark difference between them.
Coming into the tournament, Hellebuyck had a .925 save percentage in the NHL.
Right.
And Binnington was down at like .896.
Oof.
Just those numbers alone make it seem like a total mismatch.
Yeah.
So the puck dropped and boom, less than 5 minutes into the first period, Canada scores.
Right off the bat.
It was a weird goal from Nathan McKinnon. The puck bounced around a bunch before it went in.
Yeah, kind of lucky.
But I guess a goal's a goal, right?
That's how it goes sometimes.
And that goal really set the tone for Canada.
They wanted to control the pace of the game.
Which makes sense when you look at how they played in the rest of the tournament.
Consistently outscoring opponents in the first period.
But the U.S. didn't just roll over and die.
Oh, no.
Brady Tkachuk, still playing hurt, tied it up a few minutes later.
That's impressive.
Battled for position right in front of the net and scored on a rebound.
True grit.
Now, what's interesting is that the U.S. had a totally opposite pattern going on.
Oh, yeah.
In their other games, they tended to really dominate in the second and third periods.
Interesting.
Outscored their opponents 7-0 after the first period in those games.
Wow.
So you had this really cool contrast of style.
For sure.
Canada with those explosive starts and the U.S. just grinding away until they wore the other team down.
It's kind of like their personalities as countries, too, eh?
Huh. Maybe so.
So what happened in the second period? How did those styles clash?
Well, the U.S. took the lead for the first time with a beautiful goal from, you guessed it, Jake Sanderson.
No way. The guy who wasn't even supposed to be playing.
The one and only.
That's awesome.
It was a textbook hockey play.
How'd you go down?
Matthews and the Dockett were putting the pressure on in the offensive zone.
Okay.
The puck popped out to Sanderson as he was crashing the net.
Perfect timing.
And boom, top shelf goal.
Love it.
But Canada answered back with a classic 3-on-2 play finished off by Sam Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
Assist from Mitch Marner.
Beautiful.
For anyone who might not know, a 3-on-2 is when a team has 3 attackers going up against 2 defenders.
Right.
So it often creates some awesome scoring opportunities.
Sure.
And in this case, Canada just executed it perfectly.
So the game was tied going into the third. Things must have been getting pretty tense at that point.
Absolutely. The third period was back and forth. Both teams had chances.
Oh, man.
Brendan Hagel almost put Canada in the lead, but he hit the post.
So close.
Jakob Slavin was a beast on defense for the U.S., shutting down anything that came his way.
Yeah, Slavin's a stud.
Speaking of defense, how was Matthew Tkachuk looking out there? That injury seemed pretty bad.
Yeah, you could tell he was playing through a lot of pain.
Toughness.
For sure. Showed a lot of heart.
So we head to overtime, sudden death, NHL playoff rule.
Oh, yeah.
Winner takes all.
And then McDavid scores, of course.
Classic McDavid.
What a way to end it.
What was it like in the arena when that happened?
Pure mayhem.
It's crazy because McDavid had been relatively quiet for most of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. defense did a great job keeping him contained.
Impressive.
But, overtime, McDavid time.
Gotta give the guy credit.
Marner made an amazing pass through traffic.
Right, to McDavid's stick.
One-timer, past Hellebuyck, game over.
Incredible.
Canadian fans must have lost their minds.
They did. It was amazing.
And what about Binnington? The guy who everyone thought was going to cost Canada the game.
Oh, yeah. How'd he do?
Total redemption story.
Really?
He was unbelievable in overtime.
Wow.
Shut down Matthews on a breakaway.
No way.
And then robbed Brady Tkachuk with an insane glove save.
Amazing.
Ended up saving 31 of 33 shots.
That's impressive.
Especially considering all the pressure he was under.
Absolutely.
So a storybook ending for Canada
Yeah.
and a tough loss for the U.S.
Tough, but they played great.
But I think this game was about so much more than just the final score.
For sure.
Dramatic goals, surprising performances,
Right.
and that rivalry between the U.S. and Canada just got taken to a whole new level.
Absolutely.
And I can't help but feel like this was just a taste of what's coming in 26 at the Olympics.
A preview.
Before we start speculating about that, though, let's take a closer look at some of the individual performances that really stood out in this game.
Sounds good to me.
Got to start with McDavid. I mean, the guy was pretty quiet most of the game, and then, boom, overtime winner.
Yeah.
How does he do that? Stay so calm under pressure and just deliver when it matters most.
Well, McDavid's obviously insanely talented.
Oh, yeah.
The speed, the puck handling, it's all there, but what really sets him apart is, I think, his hockey IQ.
So it's not just raw talent. He's also thinking strategically out there.
Exactly. He sees the play developing before anyone else does.
And that makes him dangerous in those clutch moments.
Exactly. He doesn't panic.
Stays calm, assesses the situation, then strikes.
Just like that game winner.
That pass from Marner, the one-timer past Hellebuck, it's like he had the whole thing planned out in his head.
It was beautiful, truly elite level play.
But we got to talk about Binnington, too. I mean, the guy was getting a lot of heat coming into the tournament.
Yeah.
Those regular season stats, not exactly inspiring.
Nope.
I'll admit, even I was skeptical.
Really?
I just didn't know if he could handle the pressure of a game like this.
I get it.
But man, he proved everybody wrong.
Totally redeemed himself.
What do you think was the key for him? Was it just finding his groove finally, or was there something more to it?
I think it's a combination of things.
Like what?
Well, technically, he looked sharper.
Yeah.
Tracking the puck better, controlling his rebounds.
Right.
But also, the mental side of things can't be overlooked.
Oh, for sure.
Had to block out all the noise and just focus on his game.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yep.
I think this performance could be a real turning point for him.
Agreed.
Confidence booster for sure.
Absolutely.
And, looking ahead to the Olympics, this could be huge for him.
We'll see.
Speaking of the Olympics, this whole game felt like a preview of what's to come.
Yeah, for sure.
The intensity, the skill, the back-and-forth action, it was classic U.S.-Canada rivalry.
Oh, yeah. One of the best rivalries in all of sports.
But this game also showed us something else, I think.
What's that?
How much international hockey is evolving.
What do you mean?
I mean, it used to be that international hockey was slower, more physical.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not like the NHL.
Right.
But now that gap is closing.
You think so?
Look at how these teams were playing. The speed, the puck possession, the creativity on offense.
It is getting pretty fast out there.
It's way more dynamic and exciting.
For sure.
This game is a perfect example.
Yeah, you're right.
Both teams flying up and down the ice, quick passes, scoring chances off the rush.
And that's partly because of all these young stars coming into the international scene.
Like McDavid, Matthews, Marner, those guys.
Yeah, they bring that NHL style to international play.
And it's not just the North American teams either.
No.
Look at Sweden, Finland, Russia. They're all developing these super skilled players who are making a splash in the NHL and on the international stage.
It's a global phenomenon.
It really is. And it's making international hockey more competitive than ever before.
Absolutely.
And the storylines, oh man, the storylines are just starting to heat up.
Like what?
Binnington's redemption arc, Sanderson becoming an unlikely hero, McDavid proving once again that he's the clutch king.
Yeah, those are good ones.
And I'm sure we'll be talking about those moments for years to come.
Oh yeah, they'll become legendary.
And as we head toward 2026, those storylines will only get more and more intriguing.
2026, the next chapter.
This game was just a taste.
A preview.
I mean, it's exciting to think about how these players and these teams are going to change and grow over the next few years.
Yeah, what adjustments will they make?
Who are the new stars that are going to emerge?
And think about the impact this game might have on other teams and their strategies for the Olympics.
Oh, that's a good point. How do you think this result will affect teams like Sweden, Finland, Russia?
Well, for one thing, it shows that Canada's still a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Even without some key players.
And even with a goalie that everyone was doubting.
Exactly.
But it also shows that the U.S. is a real threat.
They were right there with Canada the whole game.
And don't forget, they didn't have McAvoy, their best defenseman.
That's true.
So, other countries will be watching this game, studying it,
Looking for weaknesses.
trying to figure out how to beat these two teams.
It's like a chess match, a global chess match.
And that just makes the whole thing even more exciting.
It-
Oh, and we can't forget about all the other international stars who will be at the Olympics.
Yeah, the guys who weren't in this tournament.
Some of them might be playing in their last Olympics.
Yeah, could be the last time we see legends like Ovechkin playing for Russia.
And Pastok for the Czech team, Draisaitl with Germany.
It's going to be amazing. The talent pool is incredible.
Don't forget about the rivalries, too.
Oh, yeah, those are always intense.
Sweden versus Finland,
Workers.
Russia against the Czech Republic.
Always fireworks.
These rivalries, they add another layer of drama to the Olympics.
Absolutely.
It's not just about national pride anymore. It's about history, tradition.
Bragging rights.
It's about creating those moments that become legendary.
Like the Miracle on Ice back in 1980.
Yeah, the U.S. beating the Soviets.
Or Canada winning gold in 2010 with that overtime goal against the U.S.
Those are the moments that people remember forever.
They become part of a nation's identity.
And with all the talent and intensity we're seeing in international hockey right now,
It's off the charts.
I think 2026 is going to be full of those unforgettable moments.
Agreed. It's going to be an epic tournament.
Okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves and start planning our trip to Italy for the next Olympics, let's bring it back to this game for a sec. So we talked about the individual players, how the game's changing.
Right.
Even started looking ahead to the Olympics.
Yeah.
But just to bring it back to this game for a minute,
Okay.
what was the thing that really stood out to you?
Ooh, that's tough. There's so much to unpack.
Was it McDavid coming through in the clutch? Bennington proving everyone wrong?
Yeah.
Or maybe how the U.S. just kept fighting despite all the injuries?
You know, what's really fascinating is that this one game, it gave us a little glimpse of so many different stories that could play out at the Olympics.
It's like a preview, a sneak peek at the next chapter of international hockey.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway is that international hockey is entering a new era. The speed, the skill, the intensity, it's all at a level we've never seen before.
And the talent pool is so deep.
So what does this all mean for fans?
Oh, it means we're in for a treat.
Yeah.
The next few years are going to be incredible for international hockey.
You really think so?
We're going to see amazing skills, fierce competition, those moments that you just can't forget.
And who knows, maybe some new rivalries will pop up too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As the game keeps changing, new stars emerge, anything could happen.
And that's what makes it for fun to watch.
Exactly. So as you keep following international hockey, pay attention to how these players and teams develop.
Yeah.
What lessons did they learn from this game?
Right.
Will we see any changes in the rosters? From playing styles, new strategies?
Good questions to think about.
Because remember, the journey to the 2026 Olympics has already started.
Oh, yeah.
This four nations face-off, it was just the beginning.
The opening act.
So buckle up, hockey fans. It's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep your eyes on the ice.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till